What's up, guys? Back in the laboratory. See, I've been busy. I've been working at this Hori Real Arcade VF or V. Yeah, I think it's VF V7. It's a Virtua Fighter stick for the Sega Saturn, and it is um, probably the cheapest Sega Saturn arcade stick that you can buy. I got this loose in that condition for maybe like 30 bucks shipped, so not too bad. And I decided to mod it with some Mitsu buttons and an LS58 joystick that I picked up. So I'm going to show you a little bit into what I had to do. It wasn't a drop-in, real easy mod. It was similar to like doing like an Age Tech stick for a Dreamcast. So you see, there's the stick, and I had to take the mounting plate, this guy here, took that off, put the screws aside, save the screws, and then there were posts inside here that mounted to the old Hori stick. So I had to take those out and just make it flush on the plastic. And what I used to do that, you see I made some mistakes here. I thought maybe I'll mount the whole plate to the metal. I decided against that. I started cutting at this supports here, but in the end I didn't really need to do that. But I did use this tool here, which I use for modeling, like plastic modeling, like Warhammer and making scale models or whatever. And it is a flexible enough saw that I sat there, bent the saw, and slowly cut off these posts. Okay, and you see I got it to far enough that I could just actually take a pair of calipers on them and just twist them off. And so it got it roughly flat. And then I took sandpaper, and actually I used some fancy modeling sandpaper for that too. This is for really polishing and sanding plastic. I've got another one here that's a finer grit, but I've used Dremels on this stuff before with my Age Tech, and the Dremel is just a little violent and creates a lot of heat, and you have to worry about melting it. So I used the whatchamacallit, these premium sanding sticks. And again, this is stuff that I have from scale modeling. And then I had to square up to put the holes and just mounted it directly to the plastic. And so I used I don't know where it went. The speed square. So I took the speed square and basically made sure, you have to imagine it without this front piece. You have to take the metal plate off, and then it shows plastic. But basically I made a right angle, put the plate there, drilled pilot holes as close as I could, and then mounted the stick directly to the plastic underneath this metal plate. So that was a trick that I kind of recommend is working well. Having speed square and having some good sandpaper of different grit. Actually, if I just had regular sandpaper, it might have been easier, but having these sticks is a little easier on your hands. So that was the hardest part. That took a lot of time. And you see, this is the PCB that the original buttons, which are like little post buttons. I think I got them in a bag here. You kind of see how they vary. So they're little sharp points, as opposed to the Samwa or Shimizu kind of flatter post. So anyway, I kind of hemmed and hawed, like maybe I'll try and sand or saw the pads to try and mount it directly to the buttons the way it was, but that's just, idiotic. So I took some solid core wire and just, made them kind of short and neat. It's really easy. One of these is ground and one is power. You just boom, boom, doesn't matter which way you do it. And so the buttons were easy. I just soldered them directly. And I did use the Dremel with a sanding bit to widen ever so slightly. I didn't do much, actually. These are snap-ins, and they're like in there. I mean, it's actually a little too narrow for these buttons, but I just jammed them in. So I did go around a little bit with the Dremel. All right, and now next problem was, I'm using a Famitsu LS58, I think, but I've got the Famitsu little jumper cable there. But this is what it was originally. It was this crappy old ribbon cable that was already, I don't know if you can see that, starting to really go. And, on this old stick, it was mounted here and then into these through-hole pads. So I had to basically, through trial and error, figure out which does what, okay? And I soldered them straight in. So I made myself a little note here. These are the through-hole inputs, and it was really hard to find what was what, but the rightmost here, that's my Famitsu orange, is ground. The second is my Famitsu yellow, and that really only applies if the joystick is oriented this way, right? Otherwise it's going to change. But yeah, so that's it goes ground, down, right, left, up. Ground, down, right, left, up. Okay, so red here, that's up. Black here, that's left. Green is right. Yellow is down. And the orange is ground. So that's the order. So if you decide to do this, or whoever out there is watching this, you're welcome. That's the order of things. So that's really it. Oh, and last but not least, I put it all together, and sure enough, it starts scraping the bottom. So this is the ugly part, where after dealing with this for 3 hours, I clamped it to a table and did a really ugly job of just putting a hole because the joystick was too tall. So now it's gonna go like this. Yep, not the cleanest way to do it. I suppose I could have maybe tried to take a ball peen hammer and make a divot, a dent. I might have gotten away with that, but I had it. So I did take my files and some sandpaper and try to make it a little less jagged. But if I was using this with shorts or whatever and I had this on my lap, that wouldn't feel too good. So I might do some more work on that, but that's just a quick overview and kind of what it takes to do one of these. I did kind of make this hole to kind of wedge it in there, and this is solid core wire, so it's kind of holding the Hori PCB down. I didn't really glue it or anything, but it's kind of wedged and kind of supported by that solid core wire going to the buttons and draping this heavy cord going here. I think I'll be good. I don't think I need to hot glue that. This little cord management, I drilled a little hole in the sides there and just used some black twist ties just to kind of keep it out of the works. So the reason why I did this, so obviously you follow my channel, you know I like shooting games, and I like shooting games on the Saturn. So I think the reason why this is so cheap, right, is because everybody wants to use a 6-button arcade stick for Street Fighter, obviously, and these are, you know, half the price of a 6-button Sega Saturn stick. I'd say maybe more than half. And you know, and you can put quality parts in it. And this is what I'm going to use for stuff like Bats again, and you know, who knows, maybe Virtua Fighter 2, because I love that game. But that's a quick overview on how to mod one of these 3-button Virtua Fighter arcade sticks for the Sega Saturn. And hope you guys dig it. Not my cleanest work, but none of my stuff is really clean work, but it will work. It will do. So see you all later. Thanks for watching. Bye.